First of all, I would like to thank all of you for joining this particular session. I know that there are a lot of things happening in the school, and still you guys are here, even though the day was too much hectic and you had a lot of things to do. So everybody, I would like to begin with wishing you a very good evening to all of you. I am Pavni, the Public Relation Executive at Easy Schooling, and I welcome you all at Easy Schooling. It's a community of 700 plus schools with 80,000 plus parents in which we are working with the schools to transform their admission process smartly through artificial intelligence and technology. We have organized more than 140 panel sessions with us over more than 400 school leaders on board with us. It is our pleasure to have all of you with us over here. And the topic for today's session is exploring capacity building in the space industry for young learners. I would like to begin the session with introducing all the honorable panelists who we have over here with us in this particular session. I would like to begin with the introduction of Ravikant sir. Ravikant Ohal is the principal at Shanti International School, that's in Gujarat. He's into the education sector since 2011 now, and he's completed 12 years. He's worked in different profiles such as a mentor, a coordinator, a vice principal, and is working as a principal now. Thank you so much, Ravikant sir. We are thankful to have you, grateful to that you are here, grateful for your presence.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Next up, I would like to go forward with the introduction of Srinivasan sir. Srinivasan, he's the principal at Gidanhalli Public School. That's one of the SWET institutions. He's done his MA and MEd, and he has an experience of 17 years. He's working as the principal of one of the schools in SWET institution. Thank you so much, sir. We welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Next up, we'll go forward and introduce Navneet sir. Navneet Bijalwan. He's the principal at Defense Public School and director at Veer Arjun Scholars Academy. He's done his MSc in Mathematics and Chemistry, MA in Education and History as well. He has a total experience of 20 years, and he's working as a principal since 12 years and as a PGT since 8 years now. He's also a manager at Future Vision Education. Really thankful to have you, sir. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. My pleasure, ma'am.
That's so nice of you sitting in the car taking the panel session.
Yes, I'm so sorry for that actually. But commitment is commitment.
That's so nice of you. Completely understand.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Next up, I would like to go forward with the introduction of Aruna ma'am. Dr. N. Aruna Rao. She's the principal of Orchids, the International School, that's in Bajupalli, has about 2 decades of experience in the field of education. She's done her PhD in school management, and she believes that learning is a lifelong process and hence is closely connected in continuing with her learning process. She's a trained postgraduate in English literature. She also holds certification in educational administration and management from the College of Birmingham and also PGDELT from Osmania University. She received the most prestigious International School Award from the British Council for promoting internationalism in school. She also received the Best Principal Award at district level from the SOF. She hosted the first ever Taekwondo event, which won the Guinness World Record. She's authored the books ESOL Beginners, English Speaking for Other Languages, which was instrumental in improving the English speaking skills of many native speakers. During the online classes, she has taken several initiatives to make the sessions interesting for the children of FIFA Find It Fast activity. Bagged the first prize pan-India in the Orchids group of schools. She was one of the panel members in the discussion on HMTV channel, that's for sports in schools. Thank you so much for delighting this event with your presence, ma'am. Thank you so much. We welcome you.
Thanks for that introduction, and thank you. I hope that we have a great interaction today, all of you. Thank you.
Definitely looking forward. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Let's go forward and introduce Asha ma'am, Dr. Asha Tiwari. She's the principal and the academic head of all the 8 branches of countrywide public school. She started her teacher career when she, was completing her PhD. So during that tenure, she used to teach graduate and postgraduate students in one of the colleges that was there in Pittorgarh. And during the entire time, she noticed that there are a lot of students who are coming from a system that's not properly actually structured and cultured also in a fine way. So what did she do? She started and she began her college life by helping the underprivileged children. And along with that, in 2004, she started working with countrywide public school. She started her career with just 35 students, and now she's having 8 schools with more than 5,000 students. She's handling and she is the academic head of all the countrywide group of schools from the last year, and is also being principals in a lot of schools in the North Zone as well. She tries to inculcate interest towards all the cultures, all the languages, and the environmental awareness along with cleanliness drive as well. She's also responsible for providing CBSE schools their high school and secondary status. This authority is actually given to her by the CBSE itself. Really thankful to have you, ma'am. I was literally so happy to see that you love giving financial help to the underprivileged scholars as well by funding their tuition fee or college fee. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank
really
you,
looking forward to this session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have another wonderful personality, and we have Mitra ma'am. Mitra Sinha Roy is principal at Adamas International School, that's there in Kolkata. After completing her schooling from Loreto Convent, Darjeeling, she did her graduation with English Honours and post-graduation from Calcutta University. She's over 38 years of experience in the field of education, first as a teacher and then as a principal. She's been one of the principals of G.D. Birla Center of Education for 12 years, and she's heading the Adamas International School since 2009. She's also worked as the Deputy Director of MACE, a teacher training institution. She has received a lot of awards in the field of education, also received one of the Best Principals Award from the SOF, and Best Awards. She believes that best awards are from the students who have established themselves in successful careers all over the world and made a mark as a good human beings. Thank you so much, ma'am. I am literally thankful to have you. All excited to share all the views that you're going to share. We welcome you.
Thank you so much. I'm not too well with my voice, so I'll try and contribute and participate wherever I can. Thank you. Thank you for this time.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. Please take care. Thank you so much. Next up, I would like to introduce Dinesh, Mr. Dinesh. Mr. Dinesh Prasad is the co-founder and the director at Navars Edutech. He's an ex-Column head, startup founder, investor, and an advisor as well. He's over 30 years of experience in the professional telecom and IT, in the field of product development, sales, and corporate strategy as well. A global veteran in the field of wireless telecom and semiconductor. He headed Qualcomm's business in India and South Asia till 2016. He's a passionate around sports. Started Navars Edutech in 2019 with focus on building astronomy and space education for students to address the growing demand of talent in the global space sector. Thank you so much, Mr. Dinesh. Really looking forward to hear your views and whatever you have in store about the space education.
Thank you, Pavni, and excited to be with such a distinguished panelist. And would be great to talk about the space journey and what the space outlook looks like in the next decade. So very excited. I've done very many panels in my corporate life with the corporate world, but doing the first time and the few times that I've done with the school teams. So very excited to talk to school principals. Children are very close to my heart. So that's one of the reasons why I jumped the corporate life and moved into education.
That's so nice. Really looking forward, everybody. Let's go forward and begin with this particular session. I would like Aruna ma'am to share her views on the first question. That's again around space technology. And it is, ma'am, students and parents often worry about careers at a later stage. How will the platform help students basically explore their interest in space at an early age? How do you think that space technology help the students to explore their interest?
It is very, very important. It is very crucial actually for the young learners to be curious about stuff. Most importantly, when I am curious about certain things, of course, I will try to ensure that I learn something. So first important thing is we should make their experiences very thrilling and engaging. I believe that there are 4 important points to keep in mind when we deal with ready to launch students into the space and beyond. At Orbit, we do that. We have recently launched the Steamship where we had taken children to the sky-gazing activities, the stargazing, astronomy, comets and all. But then, most importantly, what we just started, made a beginning. But there are quite a lot of things that we need to keep in mind when we talk about the space curriculum. Like I told you, the thrill and the excitement of space should always be. Imagine as adults, when we catch a sight of a space station fly across the night sky. Doesn't that look so fascinating? It is indeed amazing as an adult. Seeing it for the first time and we are in awe and wonder how mankind was able to make a craft that could fly around the earth. Imagine how the students would be feeling the thrill of it. This thrilling experience is what they will never forget throughout their life. So, very important thing is to keep them glued towards this important aspect of space. Another thing that if I have to say, how are we going to keep them glued? It is where the subject matter should be age appropriate. If I am teaching something which is quite higher order, for a child, early learner, it would be too difficult for them. That is the reason why we should start off with identification of sun, moon, stars, what kinds of patterns that they make, the solar system, and then how star is called as a luminous object. Why is sun a luminous object? What is why is moon so large and why is it non-luminous object? These are the things that the children should keep learning from the youngest age. So when these are age appropriate, only then they understand and try to connect with this topic. Apart from that, making this more important is through the usage of story lesson strategies. Come on, science and story, incorporation of English, that's what people think about. But then children, that to younger children, early age children, they connect better when it is produced to them or presented to them in the form of story. Well, how does it help? It actually improves through experiments, inquiry, and observational writing. These all are a part of this strategy. So the first lesson begins with answering phenomenon routine. Then student introduces a remarkable fact that generates questions from the student. The second would be the navigation, the investigation routine, where the children start investigating about that particular topic and start recording their observations. Then you have the problematizing routine, which they put all the pieces together, and then the last steps of the story lesson, where the question is answered in a deep way. Well, all these things are a part of a story lesson strategy. This is how we are supposed to be making the classes more interesting and ensure that one student understands what the question is. The teacher should also be able to make these activities interesting. There should be interesting activities on a topic, and group discussion should also be ensured. I hope I could answer your question.
Yes, ma'am. Like nobody can answer better than all of you, because again, you have a lot of experiences. You're not handling only the teachers, but also the students. So yes, absolutely wonderful views. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Mr. Dinesh, like you are in this industry since a long time. You told that you are, actually fascinated by the kids, and your background also shows your interest in space. So how do you think, that the students and the parents who actually worry about their careers at a later stage, how this platform can help them explore their interest in space at an early stage?
So I'll kind of talk about a little bit on what the market outlook is, so that we set a little bit of context, right? Because space was pretty much controlled by the government ecosystem to a large level, right? Till about a few years back, and it's got liberalized now in the last few years, both in the Western world and now in India. And if you look at some of the reports, and I can share over the WhatsApp group some of the reports that is already published by the likes of Morgan Stanley or by Department of Science. Morgan Stanley is talking about $1 trillion economy coming out from the space sector in the next decade or so. Now, if you look at the 10% of that coming in from human capital, okay, you need about 1 million plus resources to be generated in this country globally over the next decade or so. Generating a 1 million plus resources means that groundwork needs to start at the school level. And if we don't build the capacity now, we will land up into serious problems, right? So if you look at what happened in the early 2000s, when the Y2K thing started, right? That's where India became the software capital. Okay, because we had a chance to create and address that software opportunity in India, which is now becoming a key driver of our $1 trillion economy, right? And now what happened in 2010, we all saw about the dimensions of artificial intelligence, robotics to a large extent being talked about, or a Web 2.0 being talked about, which came in. This decade, everybody believes strongly, is all about space. And what is happening now, space is a combination of a lot of topics. It connects the physics, it connects the software programming skill, it connects robotics, it connects biology with space medicine, it connects with chemistry on how you survive, it connects with sustainability. So it's actually connecting science. And space becomes a great application of science. So like one of the ma'am was talking about, how do you make this more interesting? There's nothing more interesting than space today. When you connect physics, chemistry, bio, maths, computer science with space, you really make a great proposition, starting from the very early stages of the child. And these days children are all connected on internet, and so they are very curious to understand terminologies. They pick up news items. They are curious about everyday event happening, like the event that happened yesterday, right? So there's a lot of space events keep happening, and they're very curious about it. So what is important is that we need to build that story at the early stage by bringing this education into the school, so that children are getting more prepared and start understanding the space as a serious career opportunity. Like they are looking at being a doctor or an engineer, they also start considering this, because now students are becoming way too smarter, and they start framing up their career direction pretty much at the grade 7, 8 level, where they start forming up their roadmap, right? Am I going to go in this direction or that direction? It's very, very important that in the school we start setting this up.
Yes, and I also noticed that children are very much attracted towards space and the astronaut. But I don't think that they know that only a few percentage, of the people who have their interest in sports can go and become as one of the astronauts, as because like we have now artificial things also happening in the space.
Correct.
Yeah.
I was just add one more point, Pavni, because you brought
please.
this up. Because it's also very important to help parents and students understand that space education is not about everybody going to the moon or to the planet. Okay, there is hundreds of downstream applications, whether it's telecommunication, whether it's health, whether it's weather, whether it's agriculture, whether it's security. There's going to be tons of application which will involve artificial intelligence, electronic design, mechanical designs, and all the aspects around it. So there's going to be, so everybody needs to understand that space is the next version of like how artificial intelligence engineers are more calibrated in terms of better engineers than the regular Python coding guys, right? So the same way space engineers would be graded, at least for the next decade, as a top-notch engineers getting out into that domain. So I think that mindset needs to build in. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Mitra ma'am, would you like to speak a little bit? Should I go forward with the next question?
Yes.
Are you feeling a little bit? Sure. Ma'am, learning basics is a very crucial at this stage. However, students interested in space academics are often deprived of that. What do you think is the importance of learning basic in the space academics for young learners?
Well, Space Academy sounds very interesting, and I think it's a very new concept. I don't think it has come into circulation so much. But yes, space, as Mr. Prasad has said, space is the next thing, big thing coming up. And so many, the parents and the students need to be educated on this. They need to be made aware. There should be a lot of awareness campaigns going on about this. It is happening in little ways. We have planetariums set up in schools and things of that sort. And but this awareness is coming in. I'll tell you a little story. This girl went to one of these agencies that educational agencies that place them in foreign universities. And her mother wanted her to do science, but she wanted to do geography. So there was the mother was very aggressive, and what is she going to do with geography at the graduation level, and there's no future. So the lady over there at the career counseling office, she just looked at the girl and she said, NASA. So the girl said yes. So the mother says, NASA? How will she go to NASA with geography? She says, you don't know, but then NASA requires a lot of these geographies. There's a lot of work going on, where geographical interventions are required or knowledge is required, and their skill is required over there. So this sort of awareness is not there among the public, and I think we need to spread this. And the interest in space has to be rekindled. It is there in the young children. It is there. They're fascinated by space. They imagine a lot of things in the imagination. The space exists, but I think we need to reinforce that with structured curriculum regarding space. It is there in geography, it is there in science, but structured curriculum which talks about space in its own, and the various opportunities, potential it has. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And yes, everybody, we need to make everybody aware about this. And when you told about that particular girl who wanted to choose geography just to enter NASA, I literally got goosebumps when you spoke that line. So there's, everything is actually connected to each other. It's not like that if you take science, then only you can go to NASA. If you take this, then only you can go here or there. So yes, there's a huge connection, in everything. All the subjects are actually connected to each other. Thank you so much for sharing your views, ma'am. Ravikant sir, would you also like to add up to Mitra ma'am's points?
Yeah, ma'am. The thing is that first thing I just wanted to describe, like capacity building is a way to develop the framework for allowing and inspiring innovation and creativity in space. So here, we think that as ma'am said, I agree with Aruna ma'am, Dinesh sir, and Mitra ma'am, that the points which they have said, like we should have a proper curriculum in a way that it should ignite the things in the minds of a student, that what they are learning, as it should be in a stage wise. Otherwise, what happens if they are learning at the later age what is about the space and all, they will be not knowing anything what they have learned in the previous classes. Maybe they're not able to have a proper idea about what career they will be having. So to have a proper career and all, they should the curriculum should develop from the primary grades itself. Like Aruna ma'am has clearly stated, they should know what is luminous, what is illuminous. So what are stars, what are planets, constellation, how these are making a pattern in the sky. So all these are part of study, like social and the science. It's a combination of science only. So in this also, where ISRO has launched many programs also, like internships and all. I think every school should apply like for the internship for the students, and give a chance to the students to explore what actually our science is and how we are developing in overall, in not only in particular field, but it is, as Mitra ma'am said, it's not only about science particularly in that particular field we will be having. It is a part of social also, because every job is having, every employee, we can say that job opportunities which we are seeing are having a different departments. So it's not about only particular to going to a space only. It's like you can also do the groundwork. That is what I too also believe. And also I have seen that the ISRO has given us chance to the students to inculcate the values and to ensure the mission and learn space, the space technology, to these capacity building programs, so that students will have a proper guidelines, like they can get a proper guidelines while they visit to the like space science, ISROs and NASA's and whatever we will be having. Not only about this thing, I can also say that we have the wonderful museums around. I think most of the cities are having part of a science museum. So why can't we take the students when they are young learners? So we can take them, let them see how the innovations are taking place day by day. So this is also like it will also helpful for a teacher as well as a parent to know the interest of a child, how they can be a space scientist, not only a space scientist, like in different field we can say. Because of this capacity building of space, most of the students can be astronomer, I can say astronauts. They can be and they can be they can develop many space applications also. And to this, I can also say that there is one more portal which is also prescribed by the NCERT, which is School Bhuvan, which also emphasize more on map, which provides the map-based learning to bring awareness to the students about the country's natural resources, so that students can know what are the natural resources we are having and how we can use them, utilize them for the future purpose also, and what are the things we can develop through these innovations. So these are the things from my end. I hope I have added to your question.
Sure. And sir, you mentioned about constellations and everything. I remember doing and reading about constellations, but I tell you honestly, then also I did not remember anything. Today also I don't remember anything, because like I was an average scorer, 70-75%. And how I used to score this 70-75% by doing practical learning, doing something practically, and reading about constellations was something else. But when we look at it in a lab or in the real life, that is something else. So yes, you are right, everybody should know about it, but like practical learning will leave a better impact, This is what I think. But yes, thank you so much for sharing your views, sir. Thanks a lot. Let's go forward, and I would love to hear Asha ma'am views on the next question. Asha ma'am, should I
Yes, ma'am.
proceed? Yeah. Ma'am, capacity building is a quite new concept in the education sector, and schools are still adapting it. How's the space academics reacting to the changes, and what will be the impact?
Yes, ma'am. That is actually what is there. Before starting anything, we should go for the capacity building only. Not only of the educators, teachers, but the parents, students, each and everyone should be included in this process. So that is really a very nice topic, and I think EG School is a pioneer who has started working about it. So I hope, as few of the other these speakers has also told about the structured curriculum and all, so that should be planned. And mostly what happens whenever we are talking about this, so we are restricted to that to the astronaut, to the astronomy, like that. But when we will think about it, so many careers are there regarding this also. As integration is always possible, as sir has told, Dinesh Prasad sir has told, biological sciences, physical sciences, natural sciences, these all are there. But again, space technology, how important it is. This includes all spacecraft, satellites, and space stations, even the support infrastructure equipments. We cannot restrict ourselves to one or two or three things. But that is a huge subject, you can say, huge area is there where we have to work on that. And then again, you see the engineering, whenever any space craft that is that becomes ready, so lot of engineers, they work on that. And the launch of the vehicles, space stations, satellites, etc. And immense scope is there in the field of aerospace and robotics also, that is artificial intelligence, computer engineering, and material sciences also. And even the mechanical and telecom engineering, they are also very important as far as the space exploration is concerned. And then you can see, of course, the main and important thing is space research and academics. That has to be included into the academics, as sir has told, and that should be started from the early age. As you'd be knowing now, in the basic, even the pre-primary level, we used to teach the nature studies. So that we can, as you were talking about the practical knowledge also. So for practical knowledge, what we have to do, we have to take the students out. And then the exploration should start at that level. So that will even inculcate the interest also among the students, even from the early stages also. They'll know what is this nature, what is this sky, why this moon is there, from where the light is coming, like that. So many questions will be there with them. So that's why this space research is also very, very important. Again, the new field is there of space law. Again, whenever we will go for any of the new area, so we have to go for certain laws also. So that is the governing space related activities, law governing space related activities must be there. And wide range of agreements, like you would be knowing, when we are going to Mars, we are going to a moon. So there also some agreements, conventions, treaties, and even the regulations of international organization, that is also must. Otherwise, what will happen? Over exploitation will start, like whatever is happening in our earth. And then space tourism, that is very important again. Getting growing number of businesses, that will of course what the tourism used to do on the earth. So same way we can have the space tourism also, that will give opportunities to so many Orion Spains, that is the space hotels will be there, even the Boeings will be there. So in that way, again, space technology, that is also again very important topic, that will include again the spacecraft, satellites, space stations, and even that will support the infrastructure whatever is required, and equipments, and even the various procedures, as well as the space warfare also will think about it. Engineering, of course, I told you how important it is for that. And then space research academics, I already have included. So these all are there where we have to work on that, and we have to start the capacity building also, not only for the teachers, for the educators, but that has to be done at each and every level. Even the policy makers should also know what we have to give to the students, because it's a new area, isn't it? What happens whenever we start anything, we are in hurry, we release that policy, and later on we came to know that these are the problems, these are the shortcomings that has to be addressed properly. So I think for this also, it's a very good topic and very good, even the students, they are very much fascinated about this also. They used to ask, whenever we're taking the name of NASA, they used to ask, ma'am, how we can go, how we can do the research, like that. So that's why it has to be placed properly. Like that is my view, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And ma'am, like you're talking about the interest of children in space education.
Yes.
Believe me, when I was inviting all of you and my team, we all came to know that how amazed all of you, having so many years and decades of experience, how much interested are you in this particular topic. So, think about the children. As you all meet them every day, you know about their interests more than absolutely like I know. But I and my team also discovered that all of the like educators and all the leaders are also very much interested in this particular topic. So thank you so much for sharing your views, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Navneet sir, would you also like to add up to Asha ma'am's points about space technology and the interest of children?
हेलो, गुड इवनिंग टू वन एंड ऑल। मैं यही कहूँगा कि किसी भी फील्ड का स्टूडेंट हो, आजकल हम एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में ये भी देख रहे हैं कि सभी सब्जेक्ट्स को इंटीग्रेट करना एक दूसरे से, तो सभी के लिए ओपन है इसमें एज ए कैरियर। और मैंने जो के सिवान है, हेड ऑफ द इसरो, और जो हमारे पीएम हैं मोदी जी, उनको कई बार सुना है कि इंडिया वांट टू बिकम अ सुपर पावर इन द स्पेस सेक्टर। तो डेफिनेटली गवर्नमेंट भी प्रयास कर रही है, और ये ऐसा एक मतलब फील्ड है जिसमें जो बच्चे हैं, मेहनत वही करनी है, लेकिन जब हम उन्हें नया ढंग से टारगेट देते हैं, नए ढंग से गोल देते हैं, तो वो ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट उसमें लेते हैं। तो बच्चों को भी मोटिवेट करने का एक बहुत अच्छा तरीका ये है, बहुत ज्यादा। तो मैं यही कहूंगा कि एक बिल्कुल मॉडर्न कंसेप्ट है, एक न्यू थिंग है, और बच्चों को जरूर आकर्षित करेगी। बस इसमें जो हमारे पेरेंट्स हैं, जो हमारे टीचर्स हैं, वो थोड़ा बच्चों को मोटिवेट करते रहें। और आप जैसे लोगों को मैं जरूर शुक्रिया करना चाहूंगा, जिन्होंने इतने अच्छे टॉपिक पे, इस विषय पे एक पैनल यहाँ पे रखा। और आई एम सो सॉरी कि आज मुझे थोड़ा कहीं से आना था, तो मैं यहाँ पे रह के इतना ही कंट्रीब्यूट अपनी तरफ से कर पाया, लेकिन मुझे सीखने को बहुत मिला। सो पावनी जी, थैंक्स अ लॉट।
Thanks to you, sir. Like you have parked your car on the road, and still, you somehow managed to be here, even though as a listener, and you also shared your views, sir. Thank you so much. And yeah, language का कोई constant नहीं है. Like it's totally up to you, however you would like to share your views. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Everybody, we are talking about space technology, space education. What other than science can help us to, reach that space technology? I have a very, crucial question for the society actually. And I would like all of you to share your views on this particular question. What opportunities would be open to students aspiring to enter space sector, as only few would be needed as astronauts? Yeah, Asha ma'am, yes.
I already have told you so many opportunities are there. Like astronomy is one of the field is there, space tourism is there, space laws are there, and then again space research in academics. These all are there. So even engineering, so many are there. So these all are the fields which are open for them, but only we have to explain these things. When we are talking about the capacity building, we have to let the introduce students about this.
Yes.
Absolutely, ma'am. And I think if I can add a few.
Why not, please?
Yes, sir, please.
So I'll tell you a little bit on how we are trying to address that, because that's also an important part, because we've been talking about a lot of topics about structured curriculum, space academy, internships, and how do we give more of a progressive learning, more of what you call is STEM-based education in space, so that it's experiential. How do we expose students to get to a space experience and all that? So as a company, we have been trying to, and there are a few more companies like us who have taken strong steps in trying to build curriculums and education at the school levels. And we currently serve almost 1,000 plus schools across 13 countries. And we have a very progressive learning model through which we offer education starting from grade 1 onward. What we do is everything that we teach students is all STEM space kit based model. So they actually get a very, very clear experiential understanding at the school level. And how we deliver, there are two models. What we are trying to do is build the space academy in the school. Okay, so what we do is we start like everybody in the school has a normal physics lab, coding lab, or some of you may have robotics lab. We have started transforming in some schools and creating a space lab. Okay, and a space lab becomes a great space academy in terms of giving a mini space museum experience. So they get to know about history, because a lot of students don't even know a lot of our satellites or history of space that has happened. And so we bring those history back to the school with an experiential learning kind of a model. And this is where we try and build the capacity, kind of early capacity model in the school level. We also run internship programs for students who want to get into more engaged activities at the senior school level, from grade 9 to grade to 12, who are trying to get into more serious engagement. We get into internship. We are like the ISRO Space Tutor partners, so we work very closely with ISRO's charter, and we try and deliver that. And now this year we are actually closing the loop because we are working closely with the industry now. So the actual capacity building only happens when you are able to incubate the engineers, grow the engineers, and get them absorbed in the industries. Okay, so we are trying to now this year launch a program where we would be working closely with the space industry. Now you will be surprised if you have not read too many articles about space. In India, there are more than 150 companies today in space sector. That used to be a single alone ISRO for a long time, or a DRDO to a certain level. Today we have more than 150 companies, and they're all looking for space talent. So we do a lot of these stuff and at the school level, so that students, parents, teachers get a better understanding, and we start propagating the education at every level of the learning curve.
Oh, great. Why were you not there when I was in school? Because I could never learn anything about space. I was so bad in science and in geography also. Because what I have noticed is that practical learning something by looking at it, touching it, is something that leaves a better impact than what we read. Reading is also important, but again, when reading and practical learning is mixed together, it makes a wonderful product. So yes, yeah. Thank you so much, Dinesh sir, for presenting whatever you have in store about the space technology. Ravikant sir, would you also like to add up to the, if not astronauts, then what?
Ma'am, as sir already had given a brief explanation about different and even Ashta ma'am also given that brief explanation about different fields. Also I would like to say that we are seeing different education what we can say supporters like butterfly kits, and we have the Utter labs, even we have the STEAM labs, robotic labs. These all are a part of space science only, because here the students are developing the applications which will be useful in the future. So maybe they are not that much experts, but they are trying their best from the level now itself, from the primary level itself. So in the school itself, we should start encouraging the students, because until and unless we will not encourage a student will not get the ignition in their like in their mind to be a good, something in their life, like to be a scientist, to be an astronaut, to be a, like I can say, researcher, developers, whatever. There are different fields which you have. So we have to always encourage and show path to them, that in which direction they should move, because every field there are different occupations, and everyone have the different designation. So it's not a matter of designation, it's a matter of the love towards that particular subject, the love towards the particular field. Until and I love the movie Mangalyaan, Mission Mangalyaan. I just love truly. I have watched it 10 times, because in that where Vidya Balan wants to inform, like the people think that it's a 9 to 9 job. That's it. But when she tells them and realize them that हमने क्यों यहाँ पर हम ये क्यों बने थे, साइंटिस्ट क्यों बने थे, हमने क्यों ये फील्ड चूज किया था. So everyone started feeling their like they recollect the in their childhood what ignites their mind, why they became the scientists. So this is what the thing we as an educator have to ignite in our students, young learners, that they will be happy to, and they will remember you always in their life, that they will never forget that this is the one person who has guided me to the right path, and now I'm standing here because of them. So this is what I believe as an educator.
Wonderfully expressed. And yes, you've left that mark of an educator by expressing your views. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Let's go forward, and I would like Mitra ma'am. Mitra ma'am, are you feeling well? Like
Yes.
Yeah. Ma'am, the importance of practical learning in schools for a long-term growth is growing rapidly. However, there are few resources for space education. What challenges does it bring, and how can one overcome it?
Resources for space education per se, first of all, if you want to set up, say, a planetarium in the school, space is a crunch at times. You need a separate lab for that. Now, see, everything requires a separate lab. Computer, of course, requires a separate lab. If you have robotics, it requires a separate lab. Mathematics requires a separate lab. So it's difficult for the schools to find so much space for a space lab. Maybe temporarily we can set up a planetarium and train the children or show the children as a camp, but not on a long-term basis. That is one of the things. Resource person or properly trained teachers. So the capacity building that even Asha ma'am was talking about is about training teachers. We have to build capacity there, have trained people to teach the children. And I think these are the two main challenges. And sometimes, of course, it depends on the funds.
Right, absolutely correct. And Mr. Prasad, how can we overcome it? Like all the challenges.
It's a very good question, and I think I'll give you based on what limited experience we have with the schools that we have been working with. And like ma'am said, these are very practical concerns that I've heard from every school that we go there, right? So we do address some problem, like when talking about planetarium, for example, right? So we do have a portable planetarium that we bring in once or twice to the school, and we try and create a space carnival kind of an event in the school. So it becomes a one-day fun event where students learn about space. They get a chance to use the space planetarium that we have. We do some on-ground field events where they fly gliders, rockets, storm rockets. They understand satellites. They use telescope for understanding the constellation, and in locations where the sky is clear. Unfortunately, Delhi you can't do much, but people who are in Gujarat or people are in Rajasthan, they can really enjoy a beautiful experience with the telescopes that we bring in. Okay, so that's one. The other common problem, like what ma'am said, is space constraint, right? So most schools struggle with infrastructure, right? They can't dedicate another room around that. So what we're trying to, at least in some schools where we are present, we have started helping school kind of optimize their space by converting one of the robotics or the STEM lab that they have and add space to that one. Okay, so because ultimately space is also in our space education, robotics is also included to a large extent inside it. STEM is also largely included into the whole model. So why do you create and have separate infrastructure? If you have a room, we can convert the same room into a space museum, which also bring in the robotics and the STEM education as a part of the whole flow. And over time, you can decide as the students' interest grow, you can create another infrastructure as you need it. Okay, because we structure the curriculum in a way that you can engage the entire school around it. Okay, coming to the resource part of it, which ma'am was talking about, how do you build the capacity from a teacher training to teacher perspective? Because we have our teachers that we provide are all engineers and they're postgraduate. They're going to be hyper expensive, right? So we can't expect most schools to use our teachers. So we do run a very structured teacher training program, okay, whereby we help teachers first understand the concepts, our pedagogy. We have an LMS-based system with a curriculum, with an assessment, and the entire 360 program. And we gradually start shadowing that teachers of the school, and over the 6 months, 1 year time frame, they become independent. And then we start providing just the infrastructure or the STEM kits or the curriculum around it, and they start improving and delivering around that. So we're actually working very closely with the government organizations now, because there is a charter that will come eventually as a part of NEP 2020. Like the financial literacy was a mandate from CBSE, and there was a teacher training program that happened under that. At some point, this space education will also have to be done from a capacity building at the teacher level, and some program will get rolled out as and when it happens. And when it happens, it will bring that knowledge at the grassroots levels of say 50,000 plus schools in the country, and that's what is needed, because company like ours is very, very small to address a big country like India. So we need many of those companies like ours, and then we need many teachers to do what we are trying to do to actually meet the requirement that we're talking about. If you're looking at 1 million plus capable resources to be available in the next 10 years, you need a lot of people. Okay, so like just to give you some context, right? NASSCOM's revenue is $200 billion. Okay, and there are 2 million plus engineers. So you can understand the context that I'm trying to give, right? So if you're looking at 1 million plus space engineers coming out, you need a very large ecosystem to develop, and that is where, and like somebody was talking about what government is talking about, and because government really sees the potential, right? Mr. Modi sees the potential, Department of Science is seeing the potential, and we have already proven that we can do a space launch at 150th cost of what a global Western world can do it. If we can do that, and we've already proven to the world that we are the software capital of the world, so why not we can become the space capital of the world? That's what the dream of the current government is, and that's why you can see a lot of buzz happening in media, in different states, different state government, central government, trying to push this initiatives, and we are just the vehicle around it. And schools are the platforms, we are the vehicles. Government can bring in policies. There is already a policy maker called InSpace that is already in place, which was announced recently by Mr. Modi. And so the whole infrastructure is coming around. Okay, and here we are talking to a great panel out here who is very excited about the space education, and we should all work together and really take this to the grassroots level to the students.
Absolutely. Again, the students are the future of this world, and like if all the leaders start with it, then they have at least minimum 800-900 students in one school. So once it will spread among them, it will go forward as well. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Mr. Prasad, for sharing what you have some in store in Navars Edutech. Thank you so much, everybody. You all have showed your interest in the space technology, in the space education, how you are going to help your school children, and everybody who you're going to come across about the facts about the space technology. How can they actually excel in that? So all of your views are excellent, and the students and the parents who are going to watch this video are also going to be amazed and surely going to be learning something from this. So as you know that this session is getting recorded for the students and the parents who are going to watch this out. So I would like to all of you to share a final message from your side around this topic for the parents and the children community. So Asha ma'am, would you like to begin?
Actually, my message is to all. There are lot of scope is there for this career on this space exploration. So I think the people should start thinking about it, and each and every student should participate in the process. As you know, we have to start from the practicals only, and even the practicals should not be restricted to senior secondary level. That should be started, means even the students can explore the labs in the junior classes also. So what will happen in that way, the interest will be inculcated in them, and whenever the interest will be inculcated, they'll think about it, what is it, how I can make a career, who can help me. So this message I want to say, each and every school should go for this establishment of these type of space laboratories. As the students can see, even I think so many NGOs are also working on that. Even 3 or 4 NGOs has approached our school also, and we are mostly taking our students to Nainital. One observatory is there. So there we are taking, and there they are able to see the clear night, these stars, etc., etc. So in that way, from the beginning, we have to inculcate the interest. Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely correct. Thank you so much, Aruna ma'am.
Well, education system is evolving. Pandemic has made us so equipped that today we are able to meet all across today from different parts of the states on one platform on Zoom meeting. So similarly, the space education also should take a very big lead. And in this day and age, with all the technology that we have, it's important that children also learn about astronomy. Other ways to help them are aiding them with apps and online programs. They can also learn about the stars and planets in the solar system. It is just not education, but of course this is fun. Learning about astronomy can inspire kids to pursue careers in science or space exploration. So it is only that we as educators should take the big lead. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Ravikant sir?
I request, from my end, I'll request the parents, whatever the child is hoping to do, let them do and explore, because until and unless they will not explore and by learning and doing, they'll not learn what they are doing. So, and also when the school is giving some projects or something, let them do it, because when they are doing it, they will be learning about the concept. They will be doing a research about that particular concept. So they will be going in depth about the concepts. So why not the child can do? So don't restrict your child when they are doing a project which is given by the school, because it's a learning process. So I also believe that life never stop learning, and we never stop life never stop teaching you, and we never stop learning it. So that is also, so we still, as an educator, I learn so many things from my day-to-day life, from some time from the children, from some time from my teachers, from time from my parents. So why not, as a child, when he has so much of ambition to do, why not we can support him and guide him and motivate him. So this is what from my end I can say, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Navneet sir, if you're not driving, would you like to conclude?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Yeah.
My request to all the parents and to the stakeholders also, actually it's a very interesting field, and a big scope is also there, and especially to the school managements and the leaders, a request is there that the real infra should be there for the promotion of these type of things. Actually, in most of the school, I see that a formality is done there, so it should not be taken like that. This is my only request, and I learned a lot today. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much. Mr. Prasad, would you like to give a final message from your side?
Yeah, I think it was a great session, and I think we got excellent views from everybody, and everybody was in sync with what the country needs and how. I can only say that let's make India the global space capital, and that needs to begin at the foundation level at the schools. It cannot happen at the later stage in colleges. So it's you guys are the most important people because you are touching the minds of the students at the very early nurturing stage. And if we can deliver the clarity to the students, the parents, about what is ahead of them and how they can contribute to India's vision of becoming global space capital, that would take India to the next 5 trillion story that the government is looking at towards from an economy standpoint. And so I leave it with that view, and I am always accessible for any other further discussions that any one of you would be interested in. We can take it forward from there.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks a lot for sharing your wonderful views and a lot of things that I also didn't know about space, and what all fields are there in the space technology. Thank you so much, everybody. I am literally honored. My heart is full to have all of you, and wish you all the Festival of Colors. Happy Holi, everybody, in advance.
Happy Holi.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for